Welcome to the Mind Body Business Show. The 3 keys to your success is just moments away. Here's your host, Brian Kelly.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mind Body Business Show. We have an amazing show tonight. We've got a nice panel of experts awaiting. They're sitting there patiently waiting in the backstage in the green room, we like to call it. And we're going to be bringing those 2 fine gentlemen on soon. And we do have a couple more who might be joining us as we go through the show. It's going to be an amazing show because we're going to get value. We're going to get tips. We're going to get advice from different types of businesses and from different levels of success. So this is going to be amazing. So sit tight and enjoy the ride. And by the way, be very inquisitive and comment, ask questions. In other words, participate. Go ahead and we will give you shout outs as you do so, as we see the comments roll in, and then we'll post your questions as they come in. We love to have interaction. All right, the Mind Body Business Show. What is that all about? Well, in my now 55 years on this planet, I recently, in the last decade or so, I began studying just those people who are successful, who have reached, a level of success that I aspire to reach. And I started noticing over the course of time that there were patterns developing. And those patterns fell in 3 areas that you might guess were in mind, body, and business. So mind being mindset is what that stands for. And these successful individuals to a person all seem to have this incredible, powerful, positive mindset. You could just tell when you interacted with them. When I spoke to them, there's something different about them. And something that made them unique. And I was deeply curious of how they acquired and got that kind of mindset, because most people aren't born with that kind of mindset. And so through the course of my life, I've learned of special techniques and tools and sciences that do help you to change your mind for the better. And then body. That's truly all about taking care of one's body. It's about putting in the right nutrition. And it's about exercising on a regular basis. I know for some of you, exercise is a 4-letter word. And just so you know, guys, that does not mean you need to be a bodybuilding Adonis like Arnold Schwarzenegger was in his day. And ladies, that does not mean you need to be a supermodel. What it does mean is that you just need to exercise on a regular basis, which just means move. And it doesn't mean you have to do it every day for a full hour, 2 hours a day for your entire life. It means to do it on a regular basis. And you will know when you are feeling better. And that's how you meter how often you exercise. I like to do it, between 5 and 6 days a week, but I don't go crazy and do multiple hours every single day. And what you find is when you are nurturing your body in both physical activity and nutrition you're taking in, and you are developing that rock solid, powerful mindset, then you have what I call a successful foundation, not just for your business, but for your life. So those 2 are really the most important, which might seem odd. The third, which is just as important, but in order, it's best to get mind and body straightened out first. You can do it at the same time, but business, that's multifaceted. It's marketing, sales, team building, systematizing, delegating, leadership skills. It goes on and on and on. And the thing is folks that have achieved a great level of success have mastered all 3 of these areas. I call them the 3 pillars of success, and that's mind, body, business. And speaking of success, another great quality of those who are very successful that I've found most are avid readers. Readers are leaders, and it's usually not the other way around, just that way. Readers are leaders, and it depends on if you're reading the right things. So real quickly, we're going to segue into a quick segment I call Bookmarks.
Bookmarks. Born to read. Bookmarks. Ready, steady, read. Bookmarks. Brought to you by reachyourpeaklibrary.com.
There you have it, reachyourpeaklibrary.com. That is a website that I literally put together with you in mind, the business owner, the entrepreneur. By the way, for all of you joining live, thanks for coming on. And we'd love to hear where you're from. just put a shout out in the comments below. And also any questions you have during the show, type those in. We will see them and I will bring them up in the order they appear. That will be phenomenal because we have 2 phenomenal guests waiting in the wings. I'm going to bring them on very soon. And more will be joining us shortly thereafter. Real quick, the reachyourpeaklibrary.com. Now, for those of you that are watching live, and even those that are watching or listening on a recording, it's very important to note that it's the best thing for you to do is to get out a piece of paper and a pen and take notes. And what I mean by that is instead of actually going off and looking at these websites and resources that you're going to be given access to during the show, not only from myself, but more specifically and more importantly from my guests that are coming on. And the important thing is to stick with us, write down the notes, and visit these resources later, because the last thing we want to see is you miss that golden nugget that you missed because you went off and got distracted. So stay in the room. The magic happens in the room. So real quick, reachyourpeaklibrary.com. That is a website that I put together, again, specifically with you in mind. And the whole thing is it's just a collection of books that I've personally read. It goes on and on. There's over 40 books in this one list. I'm way behind in updating it. But I did this so that for those of you that are curious, that are out there looking for the next great book or the first great book, you can then at least know that at least one successful person has vetted this list. And it'll be easy for you to quickly find a book and not waste your time on something you're uncertain of. And so that's why I created reachyourpeaklibrary.com. That is my gift to all of you that are watching, listening, and all that come across the website. It's very important. And I learned quickly, I didn't used to read hardly at all until, gosh, it's 15 years ago or so. I finally started reading voraciously, and it has changed my life dramatically for the better. And so I highly recommend you go check out that resource. Nothing is for sale there. You can go click and buy your books directly from it. The links are all there, but it's not for sale, meaning I'm not selling them. It's going to Amazon for you to pick up those books. Fantastic. So it is that time. We're not going to waste any more time. It's time to bring on the people you came to see. And those are my special guest experts waiting in the wings. Let's do that right now. Here we go.
It's time for the guest expert spotlight. Savvy, skillful, professional, adept, trained, big league, qualified.
And there they are, ladies and gentlemen. It is Tyson Wald and Derek Boykin. Welcome to the show, my buddies.
Hello.
Hello. Thanks for having us.
Appreciate it.
And so I want everybody to understand how these two gentlemen came to be on this show tonight. I'm pulling back the curtain a little bit because I had another guest expert scheduled for tonight who unfortunately had to cancel at the last minute. And I started reaching out to contacts, and one was from a group that I'm involved in that is in a live streaming group. That is Tyson. And another is now a personal friend of mine, Derek, who I met in August at a live entrepreneurial event. And I just started reaching out to people that I knew that I would trust. And speaking of people I knew I would trust, another buddy of mine is just joining. His name's Anthony Gary. Anthony, if you're ready, nod your head so I can see. Sometimes he doesn't have his audio on just yet. I'll come back to him in a moment. Real quick, what I wanted to do is go around and have everybody interview them or introduce themselves. And so since we have Tyson on the upper corner here, Tyson, if you wouldn't mind, let everybody know what it is you're up to. What is your business? What are all those bottles, those millions of bottles behind you? What are you up to? And let's just learn about you as a person real quick, if you don't mind.
Absolutely. Thank you. First of all, the bottles behind me, they are hundreds of bottles of beard oils. And so as you can see, I do have a beard, and my business is YouTube. It's centralized on YouTube, and it's helping beard companies, these middle-class individuals who have decided to start their business making beard products, and help them grow and reach an audience of people that can benefit from beard products. So I am on YouTube. I make YouTube videos, but beyond that, behind the scenes, I work with the companies one-off to help them grow their business through marketing, through their website design and anything along that, including doing promo videos for them or anything like that. So that's kind of the big thing that I'm up to right now, and into growing my YouTube presence and my marketing abilities to help other people grow their business.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that. And you can all see we have a new amazing addition to the team. Real quick before we move over to Anthony, though, Derek, my man, we met back in August at an amazing seminar, entrepreneurial event. It was just, I could not believe the quality of people in this. I've been to so many of these kind of events, and this one really raised the bar, and in part due to the fact that you yourself were there as well, Derek. And just wanted to give you an opportunity to introduce yourself, let people know what your current business is, and what, just what makes you tick, what makes you so incredible and so successful.
Thanks, Brian. I definitely say the same about you. It was an incredible event, and meeting you is definitely a part of that. So my experience in sales and fixing things has always led into consulting. And one of the best parts about consulting is I get to leverage all of the strengths I've picked up from interacting with people, selling products and services, making things better, and just really honing in on different things that the business can do, which is one of the things that I learned about coaching. Often would spend a lot of time doing a lot of coaching before a consulting contract would ever come to fruition. And with that, I realized that I'm a really effective coach, and it would make more sense to do both. So as a coach, I'm able to work with people on their mindset, to help them grow their business, to help them further understand and develop emotional intelligence, and also uncover areas where there's money in their business that they're not necessarily seeing, or they don't really feel that connection.
Ooh, I love the uncovering of money part. That's going to move a lot of needles, I'm sure. And also with Tyson, the YouTube, definitely we're going to talk about that tonight, because that is a big, there's so many things going on. Not just the new, I don't know if all of you have heard about this whole thing about COPA or COPA. I don't know if it's pronounced properly, but how that's going to impact entrepreneurs is yet to be determined. There are a lot of opinions flying around. But let's introduce Superman number 3. He's right beneath me, as if we're like in the Brady Bunch in the beginning of the show. He's also affectionately known as Batman or the Dark Knight, either one or both. He is a personal, close, dear friend of mine. And you can tell by looking that we are actually twins, that we were separated at birth. He's an amazing guy. I love him dearly, like my brother. It's Anthony Gary. How are you doing, my man? How are you?
Brian, doing good today, doing good. And I wanted to share real quick, guys, with the audience here. I have so much love and respect for Brian that he reached out to me a couple of hours and, said, can I come on and chat for a minute? I have nothing. I'm just here to hang out, support my friend. But I want you guys to know, I am in the middle of making adjustments to be able to be available here. So if you guys see me disappearing stuff, because Brian's that important that I will adjust things, but also I got some family. I got to cook dinner for the wife and a few things. So I'm gonna be in and out, but I'm happy to participate. Brian, gets that kind of respect. And then the people he brought on, these two gentlemen here, talking about mindset, and we're going to talk about YouTube, two areas that I'm a little familiar with, but always wanting to get better and improving. So I'm looking forward to hearing more about what they put on the table and how they do that, and sharing some of the stuff that I've been doing and some things going on in my life too. So.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear what's been going on in your life, because we've kind of lost touch for, a few weeks. We usually stay in touch pretty good. But just so everyone here knows, is Anthony Gary is a search engine optimization expert. And he acquired those skills prior to Facebook ads becoming prominent. So he is one of those guys that you can go to that knows this stuff inside and out. He's not somebody that just came on the scene lately. In fact, he's using some pretty wild technology at this very moment, helping me with my 3 websites of choice to increase viewership and exposure through organic, searches in Google. And it's amazing what Anthony does. And I can't wait for all of us to connect. And then for those of you watching live or recording, comment. Tell us, tell us where you're from. We want to hear from you. What questions do you have for any of these fine gentlemen on the screen? And then Anthony, if you get to a point where you think you're going to have to bolt soon, then let me know so we can get you showcased before that happens. And this, for those of you watching, this is not a show for people to pitch their wares. It is a show for people to show you the value that they bring, that they have achieved a certain level of success. And the show's purpose is for you to be able to see how they did that and then to simply model it. I mean, Tyson, Derek, Anthony, do you give everyone who's watching permission to model your success?
100%.
So for everyone watching and listening, that's all there is to it. I mean, I wish I could make it more difficult, but that's it. If you find someone who's got a level of success that you aspire to achieve, all you need to do is model them. That means copy, and you have permission. They just gave it to you, and you have my permission as well. And so given that, this is a gift for all of you. So get those pens writing, get that writer's cramp going, and comment. Tell us where you're coming from. If you're on YouTube, if you're Facebook, LinkedIn, Periscope, tell us what part of the world you're watching from, and ask a question of any of our panelists that are on this show, and we'll get to you. We'll give you a shout out as well. So let's just go around the horn in order that we had gentlemen come on. Tyson, you know what? You've got something going on. We had a very brief discussion before. I've never met Tyson, by the way. He came on. He's part of a group that we both belong to. It's a group of professional live streamers, and I trust the people in there inherently. And so just talking to Tyson briefly before the show, this is an amazing young man, and he's doing some great, great things. And he's doing some great things in an area that everyone should be targeting and spending time in, and that is YouTube. He's part of a group. And so, Tyson, if you wouldn't mind, a group of professionals. We'll get an echo from one of them. I'll mute one. The last one that came on, I'll mute him just for a little bit. Tyson, in YouTube, go ahead and tell us your story of YouTube, that how you started it, why you started it, and then what your purpose was, and how did you end up getting the momentum you're getting now?
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Thank you. The YouTube kind of came about because, I mean, it's a crazy story, honestly. My last November, my wife talked me into doing No Shave November. So I went with No Shave November. Anybody that's growing a beard or doing anything like that, if you've grown one before, you get a couple weeks in, you get to that itchy phase, and you're just kind of like, I can't do this. So you start researching, how do I get past this phase? And you run across beard oil. So the first thing you run into is beard oil. You start researching beard oil. Well, anytime you do any research, it leads you to YouTube. It seems like YouTube has this amazing power, obviously, because it's owned by Google. So when you go do a Google search, it's going to naturally lead you to something on YouTube. And I started watching YouTube videos, and it got my creative juices flowing. I was just kind of like, you know what? There's some really cool stuff on YouTube. I think it's stuff that I can do. I have a lot of knowledge to share with people, and I like to get creative and do those types of things. So I talked to my wife a little bit about it, and I kind of ran it by her. There's a lot of reviewer type people on YouTube, and she said, you know what? If this is something you want to do, go for it. So I created the channel, and it's called Faithfully Bearded. And the story behind that is, we're all born in Christ, and I'm extremely faithful. I put God first in everything. And so I named it Faithfully Bearded, and Christianity and beards go together. And there's a long backstory with that. And, you can check that out on the channel, or, we can have discussions about it later. But so I started the channel, started buying beard products myself to use on myself. And I thought, you know what, let's just make videos on these. And I started with my cell phone. I made a couple videos from my cell phone. I uploaded them, and, I'd get a couple views here and there. And it just really snowballed from there. I really got into, like, I want to make this work. I am determined to make this work and benefit somebody however I can. My goal going in was to bring exposure to beard companies that need to be known about because they're either really good people or they have really good products. But on the other side of that is to make awareness for men who have beards that there's solutions out there, because we have a stigma about bearded men. And I want to break that mold. I want to show everybody that bearded men can be passionate, and they're not all bad people. We can work in a corporate world and have a nice beard on our face and it not be a dirty, disgusting thing that it might have been in years past, or just what people perceive it to be. So I started making those videos, and I thought to myself, well, how do I grow this? And so you mentioned in your intro that successful people read a lot. Now, to be 100% honest, I don't read books. I don't like to read books. My mind starts wandering on other events of the days when I start reading books. But you get me into research in things that I'm interested in. And that's where my brain really ticks and where I really go. So I spent hours upon hours upon hours researching the YouTube algorithm, different ways to, like I said, I started shooting on my cell phone. And I thought, you know what, if this is going to be a thing, I can't just be sitting in my kitchen shooting on a cell phone. I need to get a camera. I need to get lighting. I need to create a studio. So when I at least have a production to put up into the web, that it's quality, something that somebody wants to watch and somebody wants to listen to. So I did that. And then I really started, working with the algorithm of YouTube and how that works. And that's where I really started gaining traction and subscribers and people watching my videos and commenting on my videos. And it has now, I started that in January, literally with one subscriber, which was my wife. And now I'm almost to 4,500 subscribers. But subscribers aside, that's for anybody that wants to create a YouTube channel or do something successful on YouTube. Subscribers are nice and they help. But what you really want to do is come across new people. You want people to watch your content. And depending on what route you want to go in, if you want to try to just make money on YouTube off of ads, you really just need people to watch your videos and to watch them all the way through. But if you want to become an influence and open the doors beyond YouTube and filmmaking to promote people's products, to help people grow their business, then you really need interaction and you need to bring new eyeballs in. And so that's what I've really been focused on, is how to bring in more people and new people, but then also give them something in return. So when you watch a lot of my videos, there's a lot of advice in there, and there's a lot of open arms of, come to me, message me if you have anything. I've done videos beyond beard. I've gone into fitness is a big passion as well. And mental health is a big passion with a lot of suicides in my family. So really just trying to benefit people that way, and then benefit businesses. So utilizing my channel to help others however I can.
Fantastic. And I love how you say, it's about getting new eyeballs. And if you could briefly share with us one successful strategy you've used. 4,000, there aren't that many people on YouTube that have even 4,000 subscribers and viewers. That's impressive that you did that since January, you said?
Yep, since January 29th is when I started. And the big thing I attribute it to is, if you, in anything that you do, any business that you start, you have to get it out there and in front of people. So I started with inviting my friends and family to like the channel and share it out to their friends, and hitting as many, anytime I make a video, I hit as many means of transportation, you could call it, as I can. So it goes up on Facebook, it goes up on Twitter. I ask my followers to share it out, because then they're hitting a new audience. But that only gets you so far, right? Because if the same people are watching it over and over, they're sharing it to the same people. So that's where you really dive into SEO, tags, titles, what people are searching. And you really have to think on YouTube, what are people typing into YouTube? If my content is about beards, what do people go to Google and what do they type in when they want to know about beards? And a lot of times it would be, what is the best beard oil? So if I'm doing a review for ABC Company, and if I were to title it ABC Company Review, that video is going to get no views, because nobody's searching for ABC Review, unless there is people searching for it. But in a smaller niche like this, people aren't searching for that. They're searching for broader things of, how do I cut my beard? How do I groom my beard? And so sometimes you have to think, like, this is the art that I created, but this is how I get it to the people that are searching for it. What are they searching for, that I can use that terminology to get them to my art? Because we don't necessarily think the same way when we create something that people that are going to find it are thinking to search for.
My goodness, I don't know how But right now, I don't know how Anthony's not jumping out of his skin, because this is right down his path. This is his bailiwick, SEO. Everything you're saying, I'm just like going, oh my goodness, you two need to talk.
Yeah, I would love to, actually. When I heard what he did, I was like, oh, but I got to talk to this guy afterwards.
Can I share, Anthony, just from a high level view about the trick thing that's going on?
Yes, you can give them a call over, and then I'll tell you what I just looked at about 15 minutes ago on your particular one of your campaigns. So yeah.
So I don't even know how this works, but Anthony is doing search engine optimization for me for 3 of my websites, and it involves these guys. And it involves downloading, installing an app, putting in a specific project code that Anthony did on his end, did some magic. And then this app runs in the background as long as my phone is on and connected to data. And so I have, I don't know, 6 or 7 phones now with these apps running. And there's a reason behind that. I'm not going to go into it why. I'll let Anthony go as far down that rabbit hole as he wants. But it's amazing technology that helps get your keywords higher up in the Google searches. And then for you, Tyson, and you're looking to get people to find you by searching, well, guess who owns YouTube? We all know it's Google. Perfect, right? What a perfect marriage. So, Derek, I apologize, but if you don't mind, we'll segue over to Anthony just because it's flowing that way.
Well, go to Derek. I got to go let my stepdaughter in the house real quick, so I'll be gone for about 8-10 seconds. I got to run downstairs.
Okay,
and be right back.
not scratching at the door. But that's a perfect segue into search engine optimization. This is great because so many people want to know, including myself, how do you get greater visibility? I love how you talk, Tyson, about sharing it out, like putting it on Facebook. And one question real quick on that is, if you put a YouTube video, how do you announce it on Facebook? Do you give the YouTube link and ask them to become a subscriber on YouTube? How do you get them to cross the fence, so to speak, in the platforms?
Man, that's really hard because
yeah,
you got 2 entities fighting for the attention, right? Facebook wants to keep people on Facebook. They don't want you clicking on that YouTube link that you're linking and going over to YouTube. They want you to stay on Facebook. So a couple different ways you can do it. You can take that video that you recorded and upload it on YouTube. You can take that and you can upload it directly natively to Facebook and get views that way. That is a strategy that I'm not doing because my strategy isn't necessarily to grow my Facebook. It's more to grow the YouTube following. So what I do right now is YouTube, when you upload a video, you have a way to share it from YouTube. I share that out, but then I focus on Facebook keywords. So I share it to my page on Facebook and then keyword it. But I also share it in relative groups, related groups to the topic that it's on. So if I'm doing a video on suicide prevention or any type of charity work that we do, I try to go into groups like that and just share it out. But I feel like with Facebook, you got to be a little bit careful just for the fact of, if the only time I'm posting on Facebook is to share a link to a video, eventually you're going to lose credibility. So you want to really be careful on how you do videos. And so a lot of times what I'll do is I'll kind of just hang out in groups. You know, I'm in quite a few bearded groups. And when somebody asks a question and I have a video made that can answer that question, then I'll kind of just type a little bit of a response and then link them to my video. You know, you can also check out the video right here on YouTube.
Gotcha.
And then once you get them in there, the point is just to get them to your channel. And once you get them to your channel, hopefully your content is good enough and you've been asking, you have good call to actions, and they get subscribed from watching your videos.
Very good. And so for those of you watching, you know, there's no crystal ball, there's no magic pill. All you need to do is take notes and then follow what Tyson's telling you. And then what Anthony's about to tell you with his guest behind him. That's pretty awesome. We've got animation, we've got action. She's been let in the door. She doesn't have to claw on the door anymore. That's fantastic. No more scratch marks. So Anthony, we were about to go down that fun place of this magical thing you do, and you don't have to go into detail about that, but you had something on your mind, I could tell, to have kind of piggyback on what Tyson was talking about.
I got so much, guys. I don't want to be a screen hog, but you know, my thing is traffic. Realistically, guys, people come to me because they want traffic. They need people, leads, buyers, whatever the case may be. And I use the various platforms. As Brian mentioned, I started my game in SEO, so it's really where I'm strongest at. But I do, you know, paid traffic, Facebook, YouTube, and use those various platforms. So Tyson mentioned a couple of things that I'm going to start with. First and foremost, really, in any of this marketing, guys, if you really want to do this well, and I almost want to say easy, what you want to do is solve a problem. People have a ton of problems, and we're going to search for them, whatever search engine, because we want that problem solved. I got a headache, I'm overweight, whatever, my beard is dry, whatever the problem is. So all you really have to do is speak to that problem and tell people you have the answer, and you're going to get people to come to you. So when I do SEO for clients that are doing, YouTube app marketing, and one of the first things I do, matter of fact, the first thing I do SEO wise for a client is tell them we're going to create a YouTube channel, and we're going to go out there and do that. And the real reason why, there's a couple of reasons, but one of the biggest reasons why is your YouTube channel is your TV channel. It's the modern day equivalent TV channel, and you control it. You can put your message how you want it, when you want it, all, out there at free of charge. You can reach a ton of people. You can't really get better than that, especially starting off. And like we all know, Google owns YouTube. So again, they're going to show love to their channel. So one of the first SEO steps you can do is, and let me back up, make sure when you create or go down this marketing path that you have the resource and dedicate to it. There's nothing worse than starting a channel, a Twitter following, any of these different ones, and starting and then stopping. It looks like you're dead, you're out of business. So whichever platform you decide to go after, commit to it and go after it. But I like to start clients on YouTube because free is fast. And I even got a simple formula, because a lot of times I say, what do I talk about? I'll say, if you've been in business any length of time, you got anywhere from 3 to 5 questions that people ask you every single day. Start there. Answer the question. One of the questions people ask me all the time is, what's better, YouTube or Facebook? Well, my video might be, I'm going to tell you the difference between YouTube and Facebook and which one you should be using. So now people that are searching for that, they're going to come up to that. They're going to see me talk about that. They're going to understand that. And they may, they'll take action based on that. So again, I'm going down to digressing a little bit here. Brian and I were involved in SEO. Brian started this Mind Body Business site, and it's a brand new site. He had no traffic, no followers, anything. I had a new program that I was putting together that was SEO based, and it's based on leveraging Google's algorithm, leveraging their rank brain process. Their rank brain process basically wants to provide a good experience to their searchers. The search engines customers are people searching. They're not us, the marketers. So they want to make sure that their searchers get what they're looking for. And if a searcher doesn't get what he's looking for, that's a bad experience. And that's how sites are pushed down and not getting rankings. But if you provide a quality experience, you provide the right answer, what people are looking for that matches the search term, Google's and say, wow, you really are giving them a good experience. We're going to reward you. So what Brian is talking about is our program helps the search engines understand that you are putting together a great experience. It helps them find that you are relevant to these particular search terms. And Brian, I took a look before I started this morning, a few minutes before I started this call, and your site now, which started with 0, and we've been doing this since, let me look at, I'm pull up on my side real quick. I did a screenshot that I'm gonna send to you a little bit later, Brian, but we started the process in approximately June of this year, and you were ranking for 0. As of this moment, November 19th, you are ranking for 22 keywords. So what happens is now there are 22 different terms that Brian is all of a sudden showing up on the map for. And it's an evolutionary process, guys. I'm going to tell you, SEO takes a few minutes worth of work and time to get on. However, I want you, Brian, to answer, how much work are you actually doing? Because the program, all you had to do was set it up on a device and let the device run. So the customer, my clients are not doing work. My team and I are doing the work behind the scenes. We moved Brian up the scale to 22 keywords. I'm gonna go in and tweak and adjust his campaign tonight, and we're just gonna keep shooting, growing up. But what this allows you, for someone like you, Tyson, you just do what you do. You keep doing your videos, you keep doing your content. My system can pick up from that stuff and just start finding other keywords, attaching you to. It's a wonderful process. And Brian, if you want, we can put together a presentation later on it. But guys, it's a simple, wonderful process for SEO. Works for anybody, local businesses. It really works well. And I try to make less work for the client. I try, automation Brian's big on automation. There's a lot of automation involved in this process also. But and again, for those of you that want to go that way, completely white hat. There's nothing unethical, nothing evil about it, nothing mischievous about it. It's really simple and diabolical in its design and its execution, and it's exactly what Google and RankBrain are looking for. We're just giving it to them on a plate.
Yeah, as far as effort involved, it was brutal. I mean, it took me absolutely seconds to get this set up. Yes, you got the joke. Good. So I basically downloaded an app from, in this case, it was the App Store on Android and from Google Play. And I entered a project code. I think that's what you called it, Anthony, that Anthony gave me. And all he said was just leave it on. And that was the extent of my effort. That's it. I mean, we had a chat. He will find out what it is you are trying to achieve and then help determine your keywords with you. It won't take that long because he's an expert at what he does. And it's just fun watching his passion as he's talking about this. He's jazzed. And the cool thing is it doesn't cost a lot of money. It's far less than most marketing approaches that I've ever seen. And I have tried so many, let me tell you, oh my goodness, and spent a lot of money on it. And this will not break your bank. It is very, very affordable. Again, we're not here to sell this. Here's the thing. In my, I used to think anyone that came on a show or anything and promoted any product whatsoever, they were a shyster. I used to think that. It's like, well, you're just here to promote a product. Well, you know what? If we didn't tell you about the existence of these resources, then it would be, in my opinion now, a disservice to you. Because we want to give you only the best of the best that we are aware of. Now, I'm not saying it's the best in the world because I'm not worldly, nor is Anthony, nor is Tyson or Derek. But the thing is, we're here to help. That's the bottom line. It's about intent. And the intent here is to spread the word about things that you can use. And all you have to do is have that conversation with Anthony, Tyson. And, if you guys need any beard oil, you know who to talk to. You need to call.
Mine's a little small compared, but and again, Tyson, I know you do. Kind of, Brian, you said some. You might have to catch up a little bit. Keywords is huge. So again, Brian, to your thinking, there's some resources and tools I use to research. For example, when I find a new client, I start off a list about 2,500 keywords. So Tyson, if you're not doing those kind of numbers when you're starting to search out with, expand your horizon and start looking at that. And there's some tools and resources that I can get to Brian that he can share with the audience that will, let them, do some of this stuff like that. But, Tyson, expand. If you look out there, solve problems for people, find what people, the question I ask people is what keeps you up at night? And if this keeps you up at night and my problem can solve that, then you need to talk to me. And that's how you should be approaching, thinking of people you're talking to. So let's find out what Derek's mindset. Yeah. And I'm going to say this too, again, Brian helps me intensely a lot with mindset. And so it's a big thing I've been a part of, but I learned reading books and some of that I wasn't getting as much as I get from hanging out with Brian. So when you said you do some coaching, you kind of shift over to mindset type of stuff. Yeah, that got me excited because, again, it's a conversation with clients that I have all the time to get them to expand. Like I said, Tyson, expand your keyword search. So, Derek, I want to know what's going on with mindset.
Well, so the beautiful part about coaching and consulting is we're always in a role to help people. And first and foremost, that's the whole purpose of this experience on this very cool planet with the various weather conditions we're subjected to. Thankfully, I'm here in Southern California. So with that said, I had a lot of fun talking with potential clients in a consultancy about the cool stuff we could do in their business, the ideas of how we could market, how we could leverage different platforms. And a lot of that was free coaching. And what I realized was the free coaching was not to sell something, it was to overcome a mindset obstacle that was in the way. When someone is running $1 million business from an Excel spreadsheet, they think the Excel spreadsheet is also a great place to create invoices and track expenses, and they also think it's a CRM. The solutions to fix that can happen like that. We can put in QuickBooks, we can put in Salesforce, some solutions that can be instantaneous with how archaic these systems that exist. It's a mindset thing. So they can't happen like that because these individuals need to grow into understanding why they want to do that. And a lot of that is it's primarily around what they were taught. It's the patterns that people are running. The old mantra of if it's not broke, don't fix it. The Excel doc's not broke. Why do I need to fix it? And that's taking away from efficiency. And so as we look at how mindset impacts everything, it impacts the growth and the scalability of a business. It impacts the way that people that are in the business are onboarded, the growth that they have while they're in their business, the way that they're able to take their time and go home, and how quality of an experience they have or don't have at work is going to truly have an impact on their life outside of work. So the coaching and the consulting is truly the highest level to help people and help the most. So mindset is truly that's the ingredient. I don't say my clients need to have it coming in. As a matter of fact, I prefer they don't. One of the things I specialize in is creating rapport with people at a high level and having no problem breaking rapport to create the necessary relationship with my clients for them to understand that someone's got to hold you accountable. And if people are unwilling to tell you when you're not being reasonable because you don't have emotional intelligence skills, you're not able to see yourself from the perspective that others see you, then they'll never have any awareness to the mindset they're operating from. So I'm getting all revved up talking about it. It's one of those things that we could truly scale businesses and help people at a much bigger, faster pace the more people that start to realize that they need help from other people. And a coach is huge. I've had coaches that have helped me. I've had teachers on my path that have been coach-like. So it's one of those things that giving back is really it. So we lost audio with Brian.
The mute mic got me. I was drinking some good, wholesome, nutritious liquid and got muted there. I muted myself. So the cool thing is we're seeing a nice trend here with all of you, and that is the servant attitude. Everyone is here to help others. In fact, the cool thing is we have people from all over the world watching. I was just looking on LinkedIn. Linda Sunshine West asks, what's your all-time favorite book? So we'll go around the horn on that one. And then Ronan Leonard, the mastermind guy, is coming in from Melbourne, Australia, mate. And he said, amen, no pitch place, smiley face. Yeah, that's what we like. This is not a pitch fest. This is a place to bring value. So when it comes to favorite books and young ladies with towels on their head walking behind you, what is, I love it. You can't make this up. This is live, baby. And look, there's a danger. It wasn't a danger. I fully trust everyone here, but there is, you just go with it. You're flexible, right? And when you, I had a cancellation for those of you that are joining us now, had a cancellation. The guest that was supposed to appear couldn't make it. So I brought on these wonderful three gentlemen, and they came at a last moment's notice. Even Anthony said, I don't know if I can hang out very long, but look at Tyson's got a wall of bottles back there. I don't even know what those are. I don't think we've discussed that yet. We'll have to ask that as well, but let's go back around the horn. Tyson, what is your favorite all-time book? I think I can guess on this one, but I'm going to see what you say.
Oh, I'd love to hear your guess. One time I was, like I said earlier, I don't like to read. It's just, I like to research, but not necessarily read. And maybe I'll get into that more as I get older. But one book that one of my leaders gave me at one point in my career was 7 Habits of Successful Leaders. And I am addicted to that book. I've read it multiple times. I love everything that's in it. And through my career of helping people grow into management positions, and leadership roles. I've handed that book off to multiple people because I think it really can help change your mindset and how you think about yourself as not only an employee, but how do you transition from being an employee that's maybe being led to that leadership role to now where you get to lead people. And so I would say that's my favorite all-time book that I've had, and hopefully in the future I'll discover some more awesome ones like that.
Love it. And that was once again the seven habits of, what was the full title?
7 Habits of Successful Leaders.
And do you happen to know the author off chance?
I can get it real quick.
Yeah, go ahead and dig that up, because I love to share these resources. When I have guests on the show, if I haven't read the book, I'm on it. I'm on Audible downloading at the moment. They say what the title and author is. Derek, what would you say your go-to all-time favorite book is so far?
Wow, that's hard. I have to admit that as a mindset freak and all about like obtaining knowledge, I don't want to leave someone with the cliche think and grow rich, although it does bring a lot of value and it's taught me a ton. I think I'm going to go with something a little bit out of the box. It's a little bit it's a little bit more spiritual in a non-denominational way, maybe more approaching the lines of like Buddhism. It's called Old Path, White Cloud, Walking in the Footsteps of the Buddha. It truly like opened up my mind at a place where there was so much going on, and really it stuck. There was so many things, and it really had a way of holding its grip in the most positive way on the way I see a lot of things and the way I experience and feel things. So it's a long book. It's available on Audible, and if you get the real book text, there's 2 books. It's very powerful.
Fantastic. Yeah, if you get a moment, if you could type that in, maybe in our private chat, and I'll pull that up on the screen at some point. Stephen Covey. Thank you, Tyson. Yeah. So I've read the 7 Secrets of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. So I wondered if it was him as well. So appreciate you sharing that as well. And then, yeah, Derek, when you get a chance. And then, all right, we're going to go back to Batman, who's down there beneath me on the video here, the Dark Knight himself. So what is your go-to book of late? The most, well, the answer or the question was, what's your all-time favorite book?
I think this book has had the most impact on my life, and I've probably read it 2-3 decades ago. It's called The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz. And what it did for me, I was a young man, and I had some dreams, but I know, and my grandson lives with me, and that's his mom running back and forth. And I can see people will try to stomp and squash your dreams early and take that away from you. And with the kid, they have no limitations. He doesn't know he can't be a president, rocket scientist, whatever he wants to be right now. He just knows he can do that, or he thinks he can do that. And so, the magic of thinking big, it brought me back to that stage and that point in life where I was, again, I was probably in my 20s and doing well, but was settling down for that kind of life. Like, okay, I pay the bills, got, that small thinking. And it was just when I read that book and started to put into play. Now, here's the other thing too. You got to put it into play, these things. You can't just, read them and not take action. But when I started to put them into play, start changing my mindset and how I think, it opened up all kinds of things happening to me. And I kind of realized, again, I got to start big. Something that Anthony Robbins says a lot, I believe, is, your dreams have got to scare you. If they don't scare you, they're not big enough. You're comfortable, So I kind of think and go ways away. So that book had the most impact over the length of my life right now. But I'm an avid reader, Brian. The wife invited me to join a book club, so I'm reading all kinds of stuff. I've always read. I mean, it's just it makes sense. It opened up my world, opened my life. I do 20 minutes of reading with my grandson every night. So yeah, reading is it.
I love it. I love it. And I'm going to break the mold. I don't believe in favorites or all time. I just know that what's affecting me in the moment. And the latest one I read was called The Third Door. It's got a long subtitle, The Wild Quest to Uncover How the World's Most Successful People Launch Their Careers. And it's by Alex Banayan. Just a wonderful read. I listen on Audible. I love to listen. And it's a good, hefty listen. It's almost 9 hours in length total, but very well put together. And it talks about really thinking out of the box, and not just thinking out of the box, but taking action, getting out of your comfort zone. It has so many of the elements of what I've learned successful people have, that it's kind of like an all-inclusive in one book. And it's got some great storytelling. It's about a young man who started in college seeking out to do something similar to the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, which was to interview the most successful people on the planet. And it was a lofty goal. In fact, the guest that was scheduled to be on tonight has done the same thing. It's pretty interesting. He's interviewed 400 people. But this book just uncovered so many wonderful things from an entrepreneur's perspective. Highly recommend that one as well. That's the latest. But there's another one that I'm going to put on there as well, and it's called The Biology of Belief. And I'm trying to find that resource. There it is. And it's by Bruce H. Lipton, PhD, The Biology of Belief. And that is not a so much of an entrepreneur business book, but it's a really awesome look into how our bodies and cells work at the cellular level, and even way down deep into the cellular. I mean, it breaks apart the components of cells and talks about how our external environments impact our internal being. It was a mind blower in a great way. And so that's two that I have. So I don't mean to one up you guys and do one more than you, but I never have believed in favorites, favorite color, favorite anything. I have several that I go to on everything. Like all three of you are my favorite. You like how that worked out? Nice. So let's go around and let's talk about successes. So Derek, you were like kind of left hanging there for quite some time. Let's go to you first and say, in your business, to share with the people out there, like how do you actually achieve even minor successes, any success, right? Any wins? What was a recent win for you? And give us some background about it so people can share in your success and learn how they can do the same thing.
I would say recent wins for me would be the reality that pleasing clients goes beyond telling them what they want to hear. And so as I've really stepped into doing that more with my clients and creating rapport from the other perspective of not telling them what they want to hear, but in the words of my coach, you don't pay me to tell you what you want to hear, you pay me to kick your ass. And so to that's really created a lot of growth and traction.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing. And let's move around the horn to the man, the myth, the legend, Tyson Wald, the wonderfully oil-coated bearded man.
Oh yeah. I have two
real quick. First, what the heck is all that stuff behind you?
That is beard oil. So it is 300 bottles of beard oil from companies that I have worked with to grow their business or to do a review. So it is pure beard oil all over the place. This is my studio / work office. So I use it as a backdrop instead of a green screen, something like that, for shooting my videos. But as far as successes, I have two that I'm really, really proud of for where we're at in the YouTube journey and our branding. And one I haven't talked about really with anybody because I really just kind of keep it as what it is. But I was adding it up the other day just for my own personal reference. And we are all about, like, we have the servant's heart, right? Like, we like to help people. And so one thing that we do on our channel is every week we donate part of our earnings to charities. And through that, I mean, we've donated certain amounts, and we don't have to get into that. But we've also partnered up with certain companies that need to do charity work, or they have something. For instance, this one that we did is a bigger beard company, and his niece came down with an illness and a disease, and she needed medical attention. So we did a charity live stream for her, and we actually raised over $15,000 through YouTube, through that live stream for charity to help her get better. So that's a really big win, just knowing that, through the power of the internet, social media, YouTube, live streaming, that you can influence people and you can get things out that need to get out. Where would they have come up with that $15,000 for that problem if YouTube wasn't around, or if we didn't team up to get the word out? So that's something that I'm really, really proud of with the channel, is how much we've raised for charity this year. And then also companies that I work with, I started as reviewing and making videos, but then I've transitioned more into, I want to help them market themselves. So I've helped a beard company that started off. Now, a little backstory on beard companies: they're middle-class people, maybe even lower-class people who just started doing this because they couldn't afford beard oil. So they started making it themselves, and then, they got good feedback, decided to sell it maybe as a second income. And on average, they're bringing in $300 to $500 a month. And I started working really closely with one company in particular because we just kind of hit it off. And I've helped them with SEO, with their website design, with their label designs, the design and marketing side of it. And they have now reached a $30,000 a month based on that. So I'm really extremely proud of that. And I know that if we continue down those roads, that path, we can continue to grow our brand of helping companies market their brands. We're kind of the brand that markets brands.
Oh my goodness. I so want to keep this show going for another hour, because I want to ask so many more questions of you guys. And, one thing real quick is do you see ways that you could take what you've learned from that success and actually make it work with virtually any other kind of business, Tyson?
Yeah, I think so. I think a lot of it is knowledge. Knowledge is power. That's what I tell everybody. The more you know about what you're doing, and not necessarily what the particular thing you're doing, but the more you know about where you want to go and how to get there. It's trial and error, but at the same time, I didn't know in January how I was going to get here. I just started learning, started doing something, and you're never going to get where you're going if you don't take that first step. And so that's the biggest thing. If I didn't ever pick up that camera and put a video up on YouTube, I would never be where I'm at now. So you need to just take that first step and not be afraid to fail. If you fail, you just get up and you try again and keep moving forward, keep pushing forward. And, as the other guys would probably say, your mindset is, you can't be scared to be wrong. You can't be scared to be fail. You just have to be looking for that end goal of where you want to go. So
these are actual incredible words of wisdom right now.
Brian, can I speak for you? Because I can see you getting ready to burst here.
I'm getting ready to burst. This is great stuff. Go ahead, Anthony.
Brian is probably one of the biggest yes men, positive mental attitude people I know. He to what you said, Tyson, he is the. You look at the dictionary when it says, go for it, go after it, a positive attitude. That is Brian to a T. His passion, his drive, and his ability to do that inspires me a lot of times, because I want to overthink and weigh things out and do all these different, manipulations. Brian is like in the water, like, come on in. So, to what you said, the man right beside you is a living example. So it's two of you guys. Fantastic stuff. And I can see Brian I know that was in him. Like, that's me. What do you mean? I always raise my hand and say yes.
Yeah, I was just thinking, Tyson, I think you're going down the right path. I mean, I had nothing. Actually, I don't think about myself. I just think that sounds like the right thing to do, because if you don't, if you sit still, how are you going to progress? It's like you put a ship in the water, and if you're not moving, if you're sitting still, can you change direction?
Somebody once told me, in fact, it was one of my bosses at one time, and that kind of relates with your jobs. Like, you either have good leaders or you have bad leaders. And there's one leader that I've had that changed my life, And one phrase that he always told me that will stick with me that I live my life by is don't let grass grow underneath your feet. That means you're standing still. Right. Don't let it grow under your feet. Continue to progress.
Yeah. So here's the thing. If you're in a ship and it's sitting still, you can't change its direction. It's just sitting still. But if you're moving, you could be moving in the wrong direction. But the good news is, as long as you're moving, you can actually correct the direction you're going into. And you may have to do it several times till you're actually going in the right direction. But you must move in order to achieve success or to achieve anything. If you just sit and say, well, I'm just going to wait for the lottery and I'm going to win that, forget it. Just, no, that's not life. So go after things and take action. Like you said, Tyson, very well. And thank you, Anthony, for the very kind words. Going to make me gush over here. And speaking of Anthony, it's your turn, my man. What is a recent win of yours and what kind of lesson can folks learn from that would help them potentially to achieve their next step of success?
You sure you don't want to go to Derek? I have too many measurements here of things. I don't think I measure quite the way everybody else does, because I do a lot of things for people. For example, a win today and that made me happy was to look up Brian's results and see we've gone from 0 to 22. That's success for me. He hadn't, the site wasn't ranked. Nobody knew he exists. Now 22 different doors are open for him. So that's one level of success. Another level of success, some things I get involved with. A client wants me to fix their website, and they panically typed me and stuff yesterday, and I went in today and I fixed it, and as soon as I finish this, I'm going to write him back and say, boom, take a look at your site. It's not what you want it to be. And he's been struggling for a couple of weeks with this, and so again, that's a success for me because I helped him out. So it really, my success and my measurement is, are people getting where they're going? Are they coming to me, working with me, hanging out with me, talking with me, whatever, and moving on to the next level in their life? And if they do that, I feel that I've done my part. And that's kind of, I work hard at that. I work hard to make sure that I can help people achieve, again, similar to why I'm here. Brian needed somebody, I'm here. It helps him out. So I don't measure my success maybe the same way a lot of people do, but I have a lot of little successes. And, not to get too preachy, guys, but I do give thanks every single time because I feel blessed and I can share these blessings with people like you guys and others. So,
and that's what I love about all three of you. You've all said the same, almost exact things. It's your successes are a result of helping others. Tyson's first was not about business. It was about helping someone. Right. And then he said, and then I helped and then it's like, I helped somebody to pull in 30K. But it wasn't about I made, 30K. It was I helped someone else to make it. And Derek, I know you're the same way. I mean, we've talked pretty deep. Derek is, my God, the heart of gold as well. All three of you. So Tyson, you're one of the newest members of this little clan, and look out, man. We're gonna go far together, all of us. It's gonna be a great ride, and I might need some of that oil. I'm just saying.
Let your beard grow a little bit longer there, bro. You guys off.
Do you have anything that kind of erodes the gray away?
Now the gray beards are the good ones. Got some coming in. I can't wait till it all turns gray.
Wow.
And real quick before I forget, Tyson, you said some stuff about working with charities and stuff. And I like to, either offline or through Brian, one of the things I try to have my clients do is to get involved with some charities and giving back and doing some stuff. So think along, put it back here some way you can create a list or an opportunity that maybe I can say, if you're in this area, here's a charity that's worth, I don't have an answer, but I heard you say charities and work with charities and doing some wonderful stuff. And I want my clients to do more. I suggest for them, let me say, doing more of that and giving back in business. So if there's a way I can leverage what you're doing and how you're doing it to other people, and it's a win-win. The charities obviously are winning. The people are doing some wonderful things for their community and their neighborhoods. And of course, my mind says there's an SEO benefit to doing that. So I'll be transparent. There's an SEO benefit to it, but if it's a win, if the charity gets what they need, the business gets what they need, and they get some SEO results from it, I can't see that's a bad thing. So think on how to put some of that together and coordinate some of that. I don't know the parameters, but I'm throwing an idea at you, basically.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely. Yeah, and on that, we're reaching. We're like past our hour, but I'm okay with going a little bit, but not too long. But I want to give Derek the stage one more time here and say, you know, I know what makes you tick, and you're a beautiful soul, and I know you're going to impact many more people as you go forward. And I appreciate the fact that we ran into each other and got to know each other. This guy, Derek, stood out amongst how many people were there? Like 500, 300? I don't remember.
It was a packed room. I mean, that place was huge. That stage that they had up there with that massive screen, it was a big place.
Yeah, and the CEO of the company is on stage asking a question: who can sell anything? Who is really good at anything? And I did not know this guy yet. Derek raised his hand and then stood up with his hand up, and he's sitting right in front of me. And I'm like, oh, I like this guy. He's an action taker. He's a go-getter. And he did it with respect. It wasn't like, waving and jumping. And he got called up on stage. And that's awesome because that gave him great notoriety, gave him great exposure. And I thought, I dig this guy. There's going to be something that's going to happen between us. And then at break, you came by, and he's just an outgoing, wonderful guy. And so for any of you that are looking for coaching in business and mindset, this is your guy. He will do anything to help you to succeed. So Derek, to close out the show, I'll go around the horn again, but start with you, Derek. Any last parting words of wisdom that you can think of, just come off the top of your head, for those watching the show, that if they leave with that imparting wisdom, that could make their day or night a little bit better, or maybe succeed greater in business.
First of all, I appreciate all the wonderful things you said about me. It's amazing to have met you, and that was such a great environment. There was a lot of positive energy. So if I could leave everybody with something that I'm grateful to have right now, that if I knew a long time ago, things would be much different. Remember that people only do what they know. And when people are giving you guidance and direction and telling you to get a job or what to do with your career or your life, even when their guidance and direction is not anywhere in line with what you want to do, they are not aware of anything different. They're coming from a place of love. They're coming from a place of care. And that happens in everything. When someone is not in the know of certain knowledge or information, they'll only share what they know, and that might be outdated. It might be an old mindset. It might be an old methodology. Rather than finding fault in what they're doing, thank them for expressing themselves in love and in care and energy the way that they are, because they're only doing what they know. So people come from a position of strength.
Well stated. And for those of you that would like to connect with Derek, I've got his website on the screen, but I'll say it for those of you just listening. It's derekboykin.com. That's DerekBoykin.com. Reach out to Derek or go catch him on Facebook. He's on there on occasion. Great words of wisdom there, Derek. You had me thinking of my dad. He can only tell us the best he knew. And that was go get a job and, work it until you retire and enjoy your life. I'm like, looking back, that was horrible advice, but he knew no better. And he still loves me, and he wanted nothing and still wants nothing but the best for me. And I don't hold anything against him. He just didn't know. And I took it upon myself to go learn and find new things and venture out. And you're absolutely correct. That was like right between the eyes. Perfect. I love it. All right. Tyson. So we're going to leave the wise old man till the end here. So Tyson, that means Anthony's the wise old man, and you're the wise young man, Tyson. And I can kid with Anthony because I'm actually older than he is by a little bit. But Tyson, what do you have that you can give people with some parting wisdom? I'll put your website up on the screen as well as you're talking, and just share your beautiful brain with the people out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. I got two things real quick that I like to live by and tell people. And the first one we kind of talked about already. Don't let the grass grow under your feet. If you're wanting to do something, you're wanting to start a venture, the hardest part is taking the first step. If you don't take that first step, you're never going to take the step. So don't be afraid. take that first step and see what happens from there. And once you have that completed, you never know where that ball is going to roll, how big that snowball is going to pile into. But the big thing is you have to take that first step. Don't be scared of the first step. And then the second part would be adaptation. Don't be afraid to adapt. We have to adapt every day in life. And the time that we become stagnant and that we are too scared or too stubborn to adapt to something new, that's the time that we get that we fall back and we start going in the wrong direction. So don't be afraid of change and adapting to the surroundings or the new technologies or anything that could potentially help you grow. And you never know unless you adapt to it and try it out.
Wow, I was writing notes. I couldn't get back to the microphone fast enough. I love both of those. Don't let the grass grow under your feet. And that's so true. Just do it. Ready, fire, aim is another way of bringing that up that many people have heard. And the other one was don't be scared or don't be afraid to adapt or change. Oh, how many times have we talked about that, Anthony, about flexibility, being flexible? And not that I was preaching to Anthony. We were just discussing it back and forth because Anthony himself is extremely flexible. And we know that because he has a young lady walking back and forth behind him and he hasn't said a word about it. And that's pretty cool. And so folks, you can get in touch with Tyson at faithfullybearded.com. That's faithfully. I think everyone knows how to spell that. Bearded.com. And just connect with this gentleman. He's if you're not watching this, you could just see the soulfulness in his eyes. This guy is a man of love. He loves life. He loves people, and he loves serving, as we can tell by what he's told us here tonight. I mean, you all three of you are amazing individuals. And I'm not going to say I'm saving the best for last, but I'm saving the best for last. And no, I'm kidding. I am partial to this man. I love Anthony Gary. I told everyone when we started, like a brother. And we're all equally, beautiful in God's eyes. And oh, yes, there we go.
Good job, Anthony.
He is a gem for sure. Look at that. He's got support. Where's my support? Man, I need one of those. But Anthony, if you could impart your beautiful wisdom on our viewers with a parting shot before we call it a night, I would so greatly appreciate it, and so would everyone else watching and listening.
Well, I'm gonna say, my wife likes to say I beat the horse to death, but guys, I'm gonna reiterate something because it's super important, and it's. To me, it's the raising the hand and say, yes, I'm willing to participate. Again, I mentioned Brian is the leader of that. And I just found out, because I just met these two guys, that they're the same category. And then I'm only on this thing because I said yes tonight. So, and I've met two wonderful people that have I've learned things from them. I'm going to go get this book that Derek recommended. I'm not a Buddha fan, but I'm an educational fan, a learning fan. So I'm going to go read it. And one of my tactics is anything I do, I want to gain something from it. So I'm going to read it with the mindset that I'm going to learn something that's going to help me move forward. But the reality of it is, guys, all of us in this group have stepped up and said yes to various things, and that has moved us forward. So if anything, when the opportunity presents itself, instead of thinking, why can I, how can I, whatever, as Brian says, raise that hand, say yes, and dive into it. So that's my wisdom, guys.
So appreciate that. And for everyone watching or listening, digitalstrategicmarketing.com. That's the website, the primary business website of Anthony Gary. So again, that's digitalstrategicmarketing.com. I love how Tyson just pulled his pen out and he's about wearing out that paper. And that's all three of you are amazing, and I appreciate each one of you beyond measure for so many reasons. One is, Tyson, we had never met before. The other two we've met. You didn't even know me, and talk about stepping out there. What a great example. Anthony has a lot going on at home, and he told me through text, he said, I don't know if I can make it through the whole thing. I have stuff going on. And I kind of knew what that meant because we've talked in the past, and I was cool with it. And look, he's been on for the entire, what are we at, hour and almost 15 minutes now. And Derek, man, we've hardly met as well. And you were the first one that I reached out to that said yes. So you can put that a feather in your head. You are number one, brother. So amazing. And I guess one last parting bit of wisdom, it's kind of along the lines of everything you guys have said, and that is, getting out of your comfort zone and doing it on a regular basis. And it's right down the same lines of taking action of, if you don't ever get started, like Tyson said, like Anthony is saying, and Derek, all of you are down the same path. It's, I forget who said it, but someone had a great saying. It says, the best way for you to succeed is to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And that is amazing wisdom and wise. And you want to do this as much as possible every single day, multiple times a day. And that is doing things that cause trepidation, that make you a little bit afraid. If you feel that resistance coming up and it's something that's good for you and you feel that resistance, well, that's your subconscious saying it's go time, baby. And that's when you need to take that leap, just as these three gentlemen did in their own ways, just coming on tonight. So I commend all three of you. I appreciate all three of you. My goodness, you're amazing men. Wish we had some women that came on. We did last time. We'll get that next time. Women are amazing. My gosh, I can spend all night on that. But thanks, Ronan from Australia. I don't know where Linda's from, and everyone else who's been coming on and chiming in. Appreciate everybody here. That's it for tonight. That's the Mind Body Business Show. This was a blast. This was unscripted. No questions were prescribed. We just went for it and had a great time. Tyson, thank you so much, Mr. Tyson Wald. Derek Boykin, my brother, another brother, and Anthony Gary, who is my brother by another mother. Actually, it's the same mother because we're twins. But that's it for tonight. I appreciate you all. Everyone have a great night. Be blessed, and we'll see you next time. Good night now.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Thank you for watching and listening. This has been the Mind Body Business Show with Brian Kelly.